Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Nexus. This is Am, and you're watching yet another decklist profile for a unique list that took top 8 in Lille for the regional with, once again, our good friend Joshua Freeman Birch, aka Yehosera. How you doing, mate?
Doing good. Happy to be home.
Oh, yeah. Was a good time in Lille?
Oh, yeah. Very good.
Nice.
Enjoyed that place a lot.
Yeah, it was a great venue, right?
Yeah,
Oh, it was
yeah.
awesome.
Very good venue. I have to say, the custodians were very good. There weren't that many bins, but they were permanently, like, emptying them. Well, you know what I mean?
You're very
Sometimes, like,
attentive to the
trash just sort
cleanness.
of, like, accumulates at events, you know?
That's true. That's true. Shout out to the event crew and everyone there. But let's jump into, again, another unique deck that you decided to bring to Lille after your incredible run with Anakin Colossus in Liverpool. And you run it into a final record of 11-1 and 2. Really, really awesome. We're going to talk about the day. But first, let's look at the list, and just like we love to do it, we're gonna ask why Rey and how did you come to this list?
Okay. Well, basically, I've worked out that if I don't play Heroism Blue, I'm completely washed and can't play the game. Right. Like, I need the security of having 3 Felder Dragon and 3 Luke Skywalker. It makes my game plans very easy.
You do like the protagonist, to be fair.
Oh yeah, he's the protagonist. You got to play the protagonist. Come on. And like basically every blue heroism buck, you got like triple tack, triple Luke, and you know that as triple Fel as well. So you know that in the end of the game, you have unlimited cards with attack. You have like the best sort of mid-game guy with Luke Skywalker, and you have Fel the Dragon, which blanks all other late game cards. So I've kind of gotten used to playing within that bubble of kind of, I know that if I live, I'll win.
Right. That makes
That's
sense.
yeah, and that's basically what the Anakin deck did. If it lived, it won the game. But the format got a little bit too hostile for Anakin. He wasn't quite working how I liked. He had a very good showing though in Lille.
Yeah.
So he's not as bad as I thought he was.
I should have stayed
But
on Anakin.
yeah, you could have jumped to Rey.
I know.
But, but basically, I just didn't feel like he was as strong as he was as a pick as he was at Liverpool. At Liverpool, I felt like he was positioned really well to win a tournament. But I didn't feel like he could win a tournament here because he's gonna have to queue into some number of Quinlan, and Quinlan at the moment is so hostile for Anakin.
Mm.
I just thought it wasn't. I just thought it wasn't going to be a good tournament for Anakin.
Is
But
that
Quinlan dropped off the face of the earth, so I wanted to move off of Anakin. So I tried playing with Han 1 blue,
yeah.
and it was a very strong deck. I have no complaints about the deck. I just wasn't drawing very well with it, so I decided that he's in timeout along with Anakin, and it was time to look for a new leader.
Yeah.
And basically, the most defensive heroism leader that I could think of was Rey. And what I wanted was defense. Because as I said, if I live long enough, I win the game. So I just wanted to play the most defensive deck I could. And that's how I ended up on Rey.
That's great. Yeah, I remember we were testing last week, and at the time I was on Lille Data Vault because that showcase looks great. And yeah, you were playing Anakin and Han Wen Blue, and the games really just felt like is either you rolling me or me rolling you, and it was just like roll the dice. And I just remember you saying, "Okay, what's another blue hero I can play?"
Yep.
That has a good showcase.
The Luke Data Vault deck, it's very strong. I just didn't feel like it had the tools it needed to beat the aggro decks.
I know.
Because like against mid-range and control, it's really sick. You get a Sentinel and you keep perma-shielding it. Like Village Protectors with 2 shield is like basically immortal. So I felt like it was very, very, very strong. But the leader I felt was what let it down because it was good into mid-range and control. But I think you just need a stronger leader into aggro, and that's really where Rey shines.
Mm. Yeah.
That's what made me pick Rey in the end instead of showcase hunting a Luke. But maybe I should have done that instead.
No, I think this was the correct choice based on what we've seen, and also shout out to Frankie that ended up running the Luke. We tried to make it work so hard, but in this meta, like, yeah, it's not in a great position. But I wanted to flash up the first version or the first pile of cards that you sent me, and you were like, okay, this is good, but I need to shave off some cards. And I think it's a good place to start because there's some options that you didn't end up playing, and maybe we can like call them out and see like what you think, or like if you would play them or why didn't you play them. But it was really cool to say like, okay, let's put together a bunch of cards and then start shaving them off. Even looked at, I think we looked at Nima Outpost and Chiadimundi, which didn't make the list. But there was Moisture Farmer. There was the Season Fleet Admiral, which I thought was super spicy strong with the Clone Deserter, but it didn't make it.
He's a very strong card. But yeah, so I can talk you a bit through it. So the Moisture Farmer, ultimately, the Clone Deserter is just needed at 3 to beat Sabine.
Yeah.
If your turn 1 is Clone Deserter against Sabine, Quinn, or like any sort of aggro-y deck, you don't really care about the cards they draw because you're going to beat them anyway. They're gated by their mana as opposed to the cards they have in hand. So you don't really care about the bounty. But a 3/4 on turn 1 is stonks. So you have to. I ended up playing the Clone Deserter. And then this Seasoned Admiral is a really cool follow-up to Clone Deserter because then it makes them drawing a card a good thing for you.
Yeah.
Because you get the XP counter.
Yeah, so
we're going to go turn 1, Clone Deserter, give it an EXP with Rey, make it a 3/4. Turn 2, Seasoned Admiral, give that an EXP. And then hopefully you can trade off the Clone... Well, the Clone Deserter should live that round. But on the following turn, when you trade it off, then the Seasoned Admiral goes up to a 3/6 that attacks for 4. And it's an absolute menace on the ground.
Yeah.
So he's very strong. I just opted for Mon Mothma because I was more concerned about Quinlan, and she's very strong into Mon Mothma. Mon Mothma's very strong into Quinlan. Like, no discard deck can really beat you if you have Mon Mothma because she just digs you to more rebels. And even if she doesn't find Luke or Home 1, she puts you 5 cards closer to Luke or Home 1, so you help mitigate the fact that it's a 62 card deck by playing her as well.
Yeah, and if you don't find any of those, you can find another Mon Mothma that then will find you that.
Yeah. Absolute value.
Yeah.
Then obviously the 3PO R2 stuff. Like, I've played it in Anakin, and I think they're probably some of my favorite cards in the game right now is a 3PO and R2. Anything that can mitigate the weakness of them having one attack makes them into monsters. So Rey, Anakin are like perfect leaders for them. So they're just mandatory 3-ofs.
Gotcha.
The Dispatcher is a bit weird. It's good into control, good into mid-range, bad into aggro. So like that one was the one that had to get cut to 2.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, the Wing Leader is one card that got cut overall, actually.
True. We started with 3. Yeah. You were so high on
Wing
Wing Leader. We put in Luke with Mothma as well.
The Wing Leader is so strong with U-Wing reinforcement. It makes your U-Wings into absolute monster turns. Because like if you get you're gonna pull like Fleet Lieutenant, Wing Leader, and a 1-drop, and then you get +4 attack on the guy that you're hitting with. So all of a sudden your race potential is massive.
Yeah.
But the issue with the Wing Leader is I've got the triple entrench because I don't want to play to the space arena at all.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
So it kind of gave them things to kill.
Yeah.
Because if I entrench their guy and then I play a space unit, they can kill the space unit, and it basically made the Wing Leader into an event that gives 2 XP for 3 mana, and that's not a very good event. So kind of just clashed with what my plan against space decks was, so I had to cut it in the end. But it's a very strong card. If stuff like Han 1 green stops being as popular, I can see myself playing the Wing Leader again.
Makes sense. Yeah, let's talk about space plan. Obviously, Jungle got banned since the last sector, and we are seeing now the meta shifting into still a lot of aggro decks. Obviously, we have Sabine. Sabine Data Vault won the whole thing, but we've seen a lot of like, I think Kylo's, still Gar Saxon hanging around. There are some space aggro decks as well.
Yeah.
But your kind of plan with this deck is, yeah, I think you have only 8 space units, and those entrench kind of, as you mentioned, act as a space shield almost.
Well, yeah. I have very few space units, but even so, home one I don't play to contest the space arena. I play it because it's a sick card that revives a guy.
Mm,
Bright Hope. I also don't play Bright Hope to contest the space arena. A 2/6 Sentinel doesn't do much against the monsters that people put in space these days. It's there as a value card to bounce like Mon Mothma, draw a card, or like bounce a damage tech, draw a card, and give me more value plays as opposed to being a way to contest the space arena.
sure.
So realistically, the only ways I have to contest space is the blue leader at the start that can kill everything but a Mill Falcon on the turn that it's played,
Mm.
basically. And entrench and traitorous.
Yeah, I was
The
about
entrench,
to.
the main ways that I try to battle the space arena. I just don't want to double play there unless if I have to.
Makes sense. I remember when we played, you had them in 3 copies, even in Anakin and maybe in Han. In Anakin for sure.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
was
I
like,
had triple entrench in both. Yeah.
what the hell? And what about the three traitorous? How
If you
did they
ramp,
perform?
well, as any green deck, if you ramp on mana turn 3 instead of playing units, you need a card that says catch up on 5.
Mm,
So your best catch up card is blue leader because it's nothing they play is gonna have 6+ health at that point. So
mm,
it kills like everything and catches you up a bit because it's likely to trade 2 for 1. And then other than the blue leader, you need like more cards that do a similar thing. And traitorous is one way to trade 2 for 1 as well on that turn. So you just want to like max out on ways to trade 2 for 1 on that turn.
makes sense. And in
And
terms of blue leader, I love that card, and kind of makes me want to ask this question: what's the MVP for this stack? Because I feel like that might be in the short list for MVPs.
man, it is hard to pick an
Yeah.
MVP. Like every single card in the deck came up clutch over the weekend. There isn't a single card that I drew and I was like, it's kind of mid.
Yeah.
Like I mean, maybe Yoda was the only like, it's probably the worst card in the deck because like Yoda and Sundari are probably the 2 worst cards in the deck. Every other card
Really?
was absolutely broken.
The 2 non-rebels with the village protectors, but yeah. Oh, I guess actually Clone Deserter is not a rebel. I thought it was.
Not a rebel. No, he's not. He's not. To pick an MVP, it is Admiral Akbar. That is the MVP.
Really? That's sick.
Yep. There's nothing else in your colors that does the same thing as Akbar. You have no other ways to do ping damage.
Yeah.
So Akbar is the only way that you have to do ping damage, and like the 1/4 body's perfect for Rey. There are times where I'm playing like they'll ECL Poe or something, and I'll play it and it'll clear off the Poe and like stuff like that. It's just it's so backbreaking because you make a guy and then you kill their guy and you put a thing that says restore 1, and it importantly gives you a body to keep using the Rey effect.
Yeah.
Because you can get 2 activations of Rey on it, so you get 2 turns of wasting actions by using the Rey. So I think Akbar is probably the MVP because he's so unique in what he does. For the colors.
For sure.
For the colors, he's unique.
Yeah, in context, because also Luke, I think, benefits from this, because one big issue we've seen in Luke was like, I don't know how to like, ping or like deal a couple of points of damage. Always short on that. So that's awesome to see, and it's really cool to hear that you think every card is an MVP. I love the ramp package. The 2 Spark of Hope I think are amazing. It ramps and it puts back cards that you can reactivate with tech, or you can just Spark of Hope attack and smuggle it in
against Palpatine blue. They
Yeah.
killed my tech, and I just put it back with Spark of Hope. Like, go on,
Yep.
kill it again.
Yeah.
And then I played home 1 and brought it back again. Like, go on, try again, try again.
Um,
I mean, the Spark it's so good.
it's great.
Also, your early units, your opponent is really incentivized to kill. Because like R2 and 3PO and like Dispatcher just providing constant value. So they
Yeah.
kind of need to kill those units. So when you have Spark of Hope, it's like, you get even more value. Like you can play Dispatcher and give it an EXP. They trade into it with a 3-2. Then you Spark of Hope it back. And it's like you've tripled down on the value from it, basically.
Yeah. And on a similar thing, if we look at the sideboard, I love the salvage because playing 5 home ones instead of 3 is better.
Yep.
The restocks for the long games. We got the 3x Rivals Falls.
Yep.
The 2 Reinforcement Walker and the Captain Rex. Can you talk me through the sideboard plan?
So Salvage is to help against Sabine because Blue Leader is one of your best cards against Sabine because you want to always keep all of their ships other than Red 5, but they only play like 2 Red 5. They don't like really play triple Red 5. All their other ships die to your Blue Leader. And one of the ways they can come back in a game where you've stalled them out is by piloting a Chewie onto a spaceship. So you want as many ways as possible to stop that from happening. And one of the ways is by playing Salvage.
Gotcha.
It's also obviously very good against Control because you get more home ones and more Bright Hopes, and those are both cards that Control absolutely cringe when they see. So it's good against aggro, good against Control. I wouldn't main it though because you need to like get a gauge. So against Sabines and stuff, you need to get a gauge for how likely the player is to play to space. Because if they're not playing like Sabine Masterpiece, they're not playing the Phoenix Squadrons at 3. You sort of get a feel for the amount of space they have. And if you feel like you need a bit more help in that arena, then you would board it in. So I wouldn't main it. And Quinlan, it's useless against. I mean, you can discard it for Force Throw and do 0. But it's not. So yeah, it's good when it's good, and it's really bad when it's bad. So I put it in the board. The restocks are to help against Control because villainy decks will never deal 33 damage to you ever. So they have to kill you by deck out. So you just take the 2 restock and you go, all right, I'll win this matchup. It's unplayable for you. The Rex is because Rex solos Bosk. Bosk can't beat that card, especially with home 1. Are you bringing up the Rex?
Yeah, because it's I think outside of the Rex deck, I don't think we've seen him played a lot of times.
Well, he makes a board that has to be super laser blasted. Like they can play Snoke or Super Laser Blast. Otherwise, Palpatine. All that board is doing 8 damage a turn, so they have to do something about it.
Yeah.
And the way you beat Rex is just by keep playing. Sorry, the way you beat Bosk is by just keep playing guys. And Rex makes 2. So it just presents a board that has to be SLB'd, and they only have 3. And then if they're playing Snoke or Palpatine into it, you get a really good Luke to clear the thing because they're both 6/6s. So they're kind of disincentivized because like they have to play Snoke or Palpatine. Then you return Luke clear and hit with what's left over. Then on their turn they can't power of the dark side the Luke because you've always got at least one guy left over.
Right.
So they have to play kill spell on Luke. Then that guy gets in again. And, I mean, it just sets up to make problems. They're gonna have issues with it. Then the other sideboard cards with their triple Rivals Fall. It's because Rivals Fall is probably one of the most OP cards in the game right now because just kill leader is really, really strong. And I don't have Stealer to let me justify playing 2. So I want if it's a matchup where I want to kill their leader in 1, like Quinlan, Han, Palpatine, Anakin, yep. Other Reys, got to watch out for them now.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to want the Rivals Fall because it just kills it in 1 action. And if I want to see Rivals Fall, I want it at 3 because I want to see it on time. And without Stealer, I can't help it more other than by playing 3. And the 2 Walkers were kind of just a fill-in slot. I'd probably replace the 2 Walkers with other things in the board. It was just Against control stuff, I'm boarding in 2 salvage. Walker works good with salvage. It's
Yeah.
good against mid range. But I probably wouldn't board them. I'd probably board 2 cargo juggernauts.
I love Cargo Juggernaut. I think that would be a good shout, but honestly, when you... Hmm.
I'd want to board the 2 cargo juggernauts, and I'd want to put moisture farmer back in somewhere so my U-wing can hit instantaneous heal.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, because then you can hit a moisture farmer plus cargo jug and get like 4 health or whatever it heals back immediately.
It makes sense.
So the walkers are the 2 flex slots that you can put for more anti-aggro.
One card I pulled up that kind of like I was actually expecting you to kind of take out of the bag is Timely Reinforcements.
It's a very strong card, but unfortunately people don't understand that Snoke has no text and play triple Snoke, so I can't play this card because you lose to Snoke.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So until people stop playing Snoke the joke, I can't play Timely Reinforcements.
Fair enough. Awesome. So yeah, just to wrap up that deck portion of the video, 62 cards. What do you think about having 62 cards, and what do you think about Data Vault as a base?
Oh, I just think it's funny, so I'll do it.
That's for the 62.
This deck could be a 50 card deck, but I just think it's funny, innit?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the cards are good anyway. It's kind of hard to make 10 cards because I'd have to cut 1-drops and 2-drops to make space, and I'm not too sad about losing some of them. I'd have to cut like the Yoda, kind of weak, Thundari to 2. Like, it's possible to make 12 cuts, but don't wanna.
No. It's just
don't wanna.
the right number, 62.
Yep, it's the minimum
62 is the minimum from now on. Awesome. Well, let's have a look at your tournament experience. Also curious about here, like how you found the regional.
See a lot of 2-0s, man.
There's a lot of 2-0s. Oh my god. They're literally all 2-0s. I mean, it's not a surprise, but it's cool to see.
It's a monster deck, to be honest.
Yeah. And I love that it's just like a fresh creation. And it's quite innovative, I think.
You don't get me on the channel to speak about stale decks, do you?
Of course.
I mean, the day started kind of rough because I played against an Admiral Pierre, and he was playing a cool deck. It was basically like a Separatist deck that needs triple Dark Grey, but the card's banned, so it's almost unplayable. Like, I felt so bad for him as well because he played Invisible Hand and didn't hit a droid, and his whole deck was Separatists and droids, and I was like,
oh my gosh, man. Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, it's a disaster. But it's one of the good things about the community. When stuff like that happens, you both have a laugh. It's not like, nobody's like too mad about it. It's just kind of funny.
That's true.
Then I lost to the Han Solo ECL. I made a very big mistake in game 2 of my sideboard plan, and in game 3, unfortunately, I matched a Alliance Dispatcher into a Battlefield Marine, and when that happens, you lose the game immediately.
Yeah, that's not great. This is Beton, really good player. Him and Sip were running the same deck, I think.
I had to battle the deck twice. So,
yeah. A second time was much better.
I think I made a big mistake against Beton with the sideboard plan, because when I see hand 2 green, I assume that their sideboard plan is like Crate Dragons, Walkers, big things against control. So I put in all my anti-control cards, but he just played low to the ground, and I was like, oh, I'm just dead.
I was really sad because Ollie came to Lille with 3 decks, and I'm gonna say 2. One is the one that he played.
I think he picked the worst because his deck
really
was red. I don't. Come on, man. Quinlan's in your colors.
I know, but he already played Quinlan and Torpedo.
Oh, that's
so
fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Then
swap to hand 2 Cunning then.
Well, the other list that he had. Oh man, you're spoiling everything now.
I don't even know that I'm spoiling everything.
We're building hand 2 Cunning now, but he had a hand 2 ECL, and
Yep.
it was ready, and he was like, I don't know what to play, and I was like, let's test and figure it out. But it was only playing hand one red, so it was like at the end I was like, just play hand one red, and he's too good at the game, so even if the deck is not the best, he did amazing.
Yeah, no, he's a strong player, Ollie.
Yeah. But yeah,
Always have a
so
good game against.
yeah, well, there's a matchup down there with him. And then round 3 with Asajj Ventress Tarkintown.
I mean, he was showcase hunting. What can I say?
Yeah. It
I
was.
thought I was gonna lose game 2 because he went on turn 2 lurking tie.
Mm.
Then he piloted it with a Vader, hit me for 7. I was like, what? Next turn, surprise striked it, 10 me. Next turn, surprise strike it, 10 me. I was like, what is this?
How do you come
I'm
back
just
from
gonna.
27?
Oh, I killed him quicker because
Oh,
I'm a
wow.
33 health base. I just hit
Yeah.
him harder than he hit me.
33 clutch.
Because I start with an 8 health lead. Yeah,
Of course. Yeah.
if it went one more turn, he killed me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That was close.
it was a funny deck.
Emperor Pop
Uh,
Colossus, which I faced twice in 3 rounds.
well, that's a skill issue on your part.
Yeah. I should have chose my opponents better, I think.
100%, 100%. You pick some bad opponents.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so usually I would advocate for scooping game 1 against a control deck with a deck like this, because I always just say scoop game 1 and board in 10 cards.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I just felt like I could take him 2-0, so I played it.
Damn.
I would usually always scoop it because you want as much time as you can. But I was thinking, I was like, you know, if I hit a U-wing, if I hit a ramp or like match his ramp, I don't need to be ahead, but as long as I'm not behind. If I play a U-wing, I might just kill him if he doesn't have 3
Yeah, I
super.
mean, you're pre-boarded almost, like 3 techs, three
I'm
Ewing.
pre-boarded for trying to be pre-boarded for aggro, but yeah, there's the techs and the U-wings. I was like, there's a world where I win these.
And that
So
was
I
the
just thought,
world.
I'll play it and we'll see. And it happened. I played a Ewing, he didn't have SLB, and he just died. And I was like, oh, okay, great. He doesn't have triple SLB in his main, or he's very unlucky. And then game 2 is obviously a complete whitewash. Because as soon as I board for decks like, as soon as I board for villainy control decks, I know they can't beat me.
Yeah, makes sense. I don't think they can get to the Annihilators, can they? And even if they can, like, it's too many.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Stocks anyway. Like,
Yeah.
okay. Spend 11 mana on an Annihilator, 4 mana Elder Dragon, and carry on.
Entrench. See you later.
Yep. Entrench. My ship.
And then we have round 5, Han Solo worth the risk. City in the Clouds. So,
I mean,
what is this?
He was a really nice player, and we spoke after the event as well. But ultimately, this matchup, Han 2 blue against the decks that I play, it's unwinnable for them. Completely unwinnable. Like in game 2, he boarded in the traditional anti-other control deck package, where he's playing Pillages and Profundity. And I tanked 2 Pillage and a Profundity that I killed with a kill spell, and I still have more cards than him. I'm sorry, man. It's just...
That's rough.
Not playable. Because, like, so for instance, at the end of that turn, he gets me to 1 card in hand, okay? Right? So after the Pillage and Profundity, I'm down to 1 card because I had the Rivals Fall and kill the Profundity and lose more cards from my hand. The last card in my hand is Mon Mothma. I just played Mon Mothma. It found Bright Hope, bounce Mon Mothma, draw a card, play Mon Mothma, and I've got a new board in new hand. Like, can't really beat it.
This is a spicy list, though, and he must have been doing well.
Yeah, no, he wasn't a bad player. I just think that the deck, like, how the decks line up, it's just unwinnable for him. Because it was a fine deck, and he was a good player. It's just, you queue into somebody who's playing one Bright Hope, you can't play a discard plan. Nope. You can't play a board clear plan, so, you don't have any plans. And I got restocks, so I can't deck out. It's just a sort of, yeah, you get me?
Yeah. So then, round 6, your first Sabine of the tournament.
Well, it's the same story as Liverpool. I prepare for these meta decks, but if I play 4 of them, one of them beats me.
Yeah.
I played 4 Django's and 1 beat me at Liverpool. I played 4 Quinlan and 1 beat me at Liverpool. I played 4 Sabine and 1 beat me here. Like, I can't beat all of them.
No.
Basically, this guy, it was so funny, our games, because in game 1, he ended up playing a Sundari Peacekeeper. Like, just stuff happened. Usual trading happened. And he had a Sundari on the board and a Darksaber, and he went, "Oh, I guess I just have to give it to this because the Sabine was dead." He put it on the Sundari and a traitorous it, and I was like, sorry.
Ouch.
And then in game two, he played a ship and then put a Chewie on it and a traitorous it, and I was like, I'm sorry, man. I just gotta kill you with your own cards twice.
Yeah, traitorous can like come clutch like crazy against aggro decks like Sabine, especially now that pilots are in and
Suiting up is the way that they beat control, and you steal it and they can't suit up. But it was just funny. Yeah, I mean, he found it funny as well because it's just like, you know.
Well, it's,
put all this work in, just take it. You're like, oh man.
Convincing 2-0 against Sabine, and then into a Han 1 green.
Yeah.
What kind of Han green was this? Was it the piloty version?
There's only one playable type of Han green right now, and it's pilots. And unfortunately for him, I opened Entrench both games.
Ouch. So
Entrench the thing that's been suited up, and then the game goes a long time, and then, you know, it's a long game, so I win.
Yeah, the problem with Entrench is that they play unique units, so they can just replay them, but then they lose the unit, and they just, it's not great.
Well, I mean, at least one time he had the Mill Falcon that you have to pay 1, otherwise it bounces.
Yeah.
That one. And he suited that up, and I entrenched it, and then he bounced it. But it's fine because I've dealt with a Chewie. And as long as, because like I can tank the Mill Falcon all day. It's not gonna kill me ever. It's just the Chewie that makes it a problem.
Yeah, that card is pretty gross.
So as long as each entrench is killing a Chewie, you're not really that bothered.
And then you got another Sabine round 8.
Yep.
With ECL, another 2-0. Is that any different? Any more traitors?
Oh yeah. Oh my god, man. So in game 1, right? I have on board a Clone Deserter with an EXP, a C3PO with 2 EXP but only has 1 health left, and an Akbar, right? And he has 6 mana, no board, Sabine used, but ECL not used. And he has a Sabine's Masterpiece in play. And I can see him umming and ahhing. He's thinking about what to do. And in my head, I'm like, I know exactly what he wants to do. He wants to Wrecker, kill the Clone Deserter, draw a card, and hit me for 5 by hitting over the 3PO. And like, you know, it's such good value, you know?
Yeah.
Like, how can you pass that up? But in my head, I know if he does that, I'm going to Traitorous this Masterpiece, flip my Rey, and then I get the blue and green effects on Masterpiece.
Yeah. Heal and XP.
Heal and XP. And what happens is I get to actually Traitorous the Masterpiece, use the XP counter on the Akbar, attack with the Masterpiece, put the XP on Akbar, and then use Akbar to kill the
Wrecker?
To kill the Wrecker, yep.
That is crazy.
And I can see him umming and ahhing and thinking about it in my head. I'm going, if he does this, he loses on the spot.
Yeah.
And then he did it, and I just sort of threw out the traitor, so I was like, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, I mean...
Absolute monster turn.
Technically, it seems like the best value play is 1 for 3. But then you use all your energy.
But you lose all your board, and I gain so much health that turn because I restore 6 that turn. 3 with the Rey, 2 with the Masterpiece, 1 with the Akbar.
Yeah.
So I've undone the damage the record did anyway. But it's like, it felt like a sort of checkmate scenario in it. Like, it kind of has to make the play, but I know that if he makes the play, I'm going to beat him. And in game 2, the game went... There was a part in game 2 where against Sabine, I was using tech to smuggle resupply. And at that point, you know the game's over.
Tech to smuggle resupply? Is that just PM or what?
No. I had to bridge from 8 to 10 mana because I had a home one that I wanted to smuggle with the tech.
Oh, okay. Obviously, you ramp. You still
So
ramp for 5, but
yes, I
yeah,
was like, if I play a mana turn 9, I'm not gonna close the door quick enough.
yeah,
But if I skip it and go to 10, hang
yeah.
on.
Wow.
And yeah,
Okay,
it
that's
was
some.
just like the board just trades off and then it's done type thing. You know.
Honestly, if I'm Sabine and my opponent does that, like I'll be so I'll be so tilted because he should be dead. Like
I think you know what
technically,
it's
if you
gonna
do
read.
that, you should be dead. Um,
Yeah.
but that's funny. And then you were against our own big annotation. Shout out Ollie, running with his hand 1
Oh
red.
wait, no,
Oh,
sorry, that was day 2 when I did that. What I
okay.
just described was day 2 Sabine matchup.
We'll attach it to day 2.
Yeah, so that
They'll.
Sabine matchup, wait,
Mm,
that Sabine matchup was the one where I made a 6/9 PO on his Sabine flip turn. I had 2 EXP counters then in trench,
ouch.
and the 6/9 PO is not beatable for Sabine, man.
Have you used entrench much on your units to
Yeah,
like?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Against like Quinlan, Sabine, any of those board centric decks,
Mm,
you want to do it on your own guys. Other than if they have a red 5 in space, that's the only thing you want to like, or a Sabine masterpiece. So those are the only 2 you want to entrench.
the
Other than
vanilla
that, you
General's
just put
Blade.
it. Yeah, for 2, it's
Mm,
good.
that's very
You
good.
kill all their guys. Yeah, sorry.
Nice.
I myself. That was that.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
Then I'm
They probably melt together, these Sabine games. But yeah, last round of the day against Ollie. You were both qualified
Yep.
for day 2.
Mhm.
We're there on the side watching you guys, and game
Mm.
1, I saw you played 2 Lukes and you managed to deal with both and still push damage. But I mean, that matchup is just so rough because like
It's unplayable
33
for me.
HP is so much, dude. It's crazy.
I mean, maybe get you to narrate the games because you watched them. What happened?
Well, I caught game 1 when I saw this. I saw that Ollie was contesting your board at the same time, doing hand stuff, just playing
Mhm.
from resource, pushing damage. There was a falcon that was like soloing your base. I think it swings like maybe
Yep.
5 times
No, it was in place since the first turn.
since the first turn.
Game
Yeah,
ended.
so that did a lot of work. But then I feel like you played 3 Lukes in that
I did.
game. Yeah.
Took 3 looks.
Is that what happened? Yeah.
Real smart player.
Yeah. It's just skill drawings.
It is a little bit of a skill issue if you don't
Mm,
draw
mm, mm,
3
mm.
loops. I'll be honest.
And game 2, I don't remember actually. What happened in game 2? Do you remember?
So one of the games, I had an Alliance Dispatcher in play along with like 2 other guys. The turn that he flipped his hand, because I'd
Mm,
ramped, was my mana turn 6. And I
right.
traded a guy at the start of the turn. So when he flipped his hand, I could dispatch a Luke and kill his hand immediately. And that was absolutely criminal.
Oof. Yeah.
Then the other one, I think the other game was kind of like sort of an even game, and then I just sort of win because I got so
Yeah.
much mana. Just eventually have enough mana. Like I had to battle about like Enfys and stuff a little bit. Enfys was a problem. There was a turn where he
Oh,
surprise strike an Enfys to bounce my Luke,
yeah.
and even though me replaying Luke is like sick value, I lose so much board because the Luke was meant to do a 9-point swing in my favor on the health totals, but instead I took an 8-point swing, which is massive for
Yeah.
him. But it was just sort of an eventually I'll get there type thing.
Yeah.
Again, he's obviously a good player. I don't rate the deck, but
Mm, yeah. I
he's
also
a good
think.
player playing a decent deck, and like it's just sort of the matchup again is just one where it's eventually I'll win no matter what.
Yeah.
And they can't push the 33 through the restore. It's only like Sabine that can push the 33 through the restore.
Mm,
Other than that, you have to find another way of winning.
yeah.
So that's why the stuff like Mon Mothma is really good, because the way that the cunning decks try and beat you is by cards. Like kill your hand.
Yeah.
But if you have more Mothma, etc., you just,
Refill
you
it.
know,
Yeah, I
yeah,
remember
you can't
seeing
do it
you
that way.
at some point in the tournament, and I was like, "How was the deck?" And you were like, "I draw so many cards," or something like that.
Yep,
Like, yeah.
yep,
Um,
absolutely criminal.
you need that. Oh no, it's red. The space unit that deals damage for each card's in hand. That would be sick.
Brilliant hammerhead. You.
Uh, so that was day one. 9 rounds. And then day two on Sunday was 4 more rounds of Swiss.
Yeah, they
Um,
thought 13 rounds of Swiss was appropriate. Come on.
mm, yeah, it's the
Why,
biggest
why
tournament,
is it
right?
a top eight?
Um,
Why is it a top eight though? If it's
I know it's
13 rounds of
crazy.
Swiss,
It's crazy.
I would for my life out there, and they're like, oh, top eight.
I
What?
know. It should be either top 64 direct elimination, I think.
Double elim would be sick.
Yeah. Or I think if you
Top,
do
top
4,
16 or 32 or something that
yeah.
scales with the player count. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, I lost my round 2, and I was basically on the bubble because my breakers are so bad, I'll never make it through
Mm,
on breakers. I'm just
mm.
on the bubble immediately after the second round. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's crazy. But it's not a problem that you will ever have, I think. But those 4 rounds of Swiss, sorry, yeah, 4 rounds of Swiss, you won all of them. Well, there was an intentional draw because there was no point of playing, which was, I think it was the final winner, right? That's Sabine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Maybe
yeah,
I should have played him.
yeah, maybe it
Yeah.
would have changed. Yeah, you never know, actually. You never know, but
Yeah,
definitely
you
want
know.
to conserve the energy for top 8.
Well, I always have to re-slave before top 8.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
They refuse to free lightning.
That's right.
Big thank you to everyone in chat who shouted free lightning when I was on stream.
I didn't hear that.
No, they were writing in the Twitch chat free lightning.
Oh, I see. I see. Day 2 of Swiss. Let's go through it. Sabine
So
ran.
the Sabine I talked about,
Yeah.
because I got them confused. Sip, my matchup with Sip.
Yeah.
Sip's obviously a very good player.
Yeah, one of the best for sure.
In Liverpool, I got really lucky against him because his triple dark raid missed twice. Well, like, it hit a unit, but it was like a Zagurian star hopper, you know, like it basically missed. And again, he was exo and queued into me. And basically, the games are blending together. I think I lost game 1, but I should beat Hanny
I
pre-board.
saw you winning. I saw you winning
Because
game 2.
Again, it was a dispatcher. I had to play a dispatcher on turn 1. And in my head, I was like, if I play dispatcher and he plays Battlefield Marine, it's okay because I can dispatcher cheat out the village protectors. Then I can tank up dispatcher again on the next turn. They played Sabine Wren, and I was like, oh, I'm just dead. Because the only 3-job I had was the village protectors, which is dice to Sabine Wren, and then I have to put the dispatcher in, and like it's just a horror show.
Ouch.
Then game 2 and game 3 were long games. Game 2, I won. I can't remember if there was a disaster that happened in game 2. But game 3, I remember because the Akbars really showed their worth because
really
he was making all these monster units, and I was like Akbaring, clearing them, and it was good. In game 3 as well, I entrenched a masterpiece, and he drew. Well, basically, what happened was he had effect play masterpiece, and I play R2 and give it EXP. Then his turn starts with a disabled Fang Fighter kill the EXP on the R2.
Yeah.
Because that was probably the only card he could play that turn. But in my head, I'm like, should have waited. I got an entrench here.
Oof.
So I get to entrench the masterpiece, and he's used a Fang Fighter, so he's not got that much upgrade removal left.
2 more.
So that so what was unlucky for him is that Sabine masterpiece with entrench lived all the way up until that mana turn 16. He didn't draw another Fang Fighter.
Oh my god.
Because obviously my turn is really easy there. I go entrench, put the EXP back on R2, and then it's like it wasn't a horror show because he actually made a lot of good plays, but I drew all 3 Akbar, and the Akbars were what kept me in it because I was able to keep answering what he was doing. like his ECL turn was answered by Akbar, stuff like that.
Mm.
And he ultimately suited up a Han with a Dark Saber, which is a nightmare for me because I didn't board in my rival's fools. So I'm just looking at that and going, it's just 7 a turn, man. What am I supposed to do? But I drew into a Village Protector that helped me because it was able to tank it.
Yeah.
Also, there was a turn where he two-sided my Luke, and I thought, wow, I'm so glad I play 3 Fell the Dragon because I have to kill my own Luke.
Mm.
It was Akbar that ultimately ended up killing the Han.
Right.
Suited up Han. It was able to let me reach enough damage to clear it. But yeah, there was it was a very close game, but when time was called, I had like basically no base damage on him. He had like maybe like below 20 on me.
Mm.
But I had like 7 units versus 1 Ayla Sakura, and thankfully he conceded because the board state was one that I would have won if there was like 5 more minutes or
Oh,
something
I
on
didn't
time.
know that. That's very
Yeah, yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Mm.
He could have held it out and been like, well, I'm not conceding. It's just going to be a draw. But you know, thankfully he had enough
Mm.
respect to go. All right, you would have won this.
Mm. That's really great.
And yeah, I mean, it's part of the problem with only 55-minute
I
rounds. Well, I
know.
say only realistically should finish, but like at least once over the day, you're gonna have a really long game, and it's just nice that players, when there's an obvious winner, concede to it instead of bringing out to a. For me, it would have been a double loss because my tiebreakers are really bad, but bring it out to a draw.
Yeah.
Because like, there's nothing in the rules that says like, there's nothing
You
in the
should do it.
rules in
Yeah.
Swiss that says this is how you decide who's gonna win the
Mm.
game, like base damage or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a draw unless if somebody concedes,
I'm
and it's
not a
just
fan
nice.
of that, to be
Well,
honest. I think we should
as
find a
long
way
as
to determine a
they
winner.
do that in Top Cut, they do
Yeah.
that. But I just think it's nice that people are respectful enough to honor, kind of,
Yeah.
honor the understanding that this player would have won, as
Got it.
opposed to holding out. So yeah,
Shout
I mean,
out
I'm
to
looking forward
Sip.
to playing Sip again. I always get good games against him, except
Awesome.
the time that he triple dark raided a Zidarian star, but that wasn't a good game.
Last and your last round of Swiss that you played was Han 1 yellow.
Yeah, again, the deck without DJ. With DJ, it's a free win for him.
Mm.
Thankfully, DJ is gone, so I'm allowed to play
Yeah.
Rey.
You can deploy your
But
leader.
yeah, I'm allowed to flip. I can
Yeah.
reach my 6th mana. That's crazy. But yeah, it was similar sort of thing. The game sort of goes long. He's pushing damage as best he can, but eventually I just reached like mana turn 16 or something. And it's like you can't beat Home One and Luke in the same turn.
Mm. It's a bit too much to ask.
Yeah, again, it's a good player to take that deck to that score because I wouldn't play the deck without DJ.
Mm.
So when I see people making these deep runs with hand cunning, only have respect for them because they're
Yeah.
doing something that I can't do.
No Han
But again,
ones in top 8, huh? There were no
I
Han
mean,
ones in top 8, I think.
ultimately, it's not that good without DJ.
Mm.
But it was again, like I'm saying, absolute monster run to make it that deep with hand one cutting because I couldn't do that. I wouldn't even attempt to do that. And there are a lot of things that I would attempt in this game, but making a run with hand one cutting without DJ is
Yeah.
something I would.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, this looks
very
like a really nice list as well.
no, it's a
And
strong list. Again,
yeah,
it's just a matchup diff. Like if he's
mm,
not playing me, he probably wins the round. But he's
yeah,
queuing into a Rey Data Vault, and he just cannot push the 33. Just cannot do it.
makes sense. Finishing off the Swiss with an intentional draw to save some time. Securing that
Sleeve.
top 8, resleeving, collecting your Ray showcase. So mission
Oh, I got the
accomplished.
showcase with like we were due back to the place
Yeah.
for a top cut with like 1 minute on the clock because basically they were taking out the showcases like really slowly and like double checking the ones they'd taken out, and then they're looking at the time and like, come on, I gotta go back there in like 5 minutes. We need it. And then thankfully, Michael Silk told the guys that were doing it, do you want to do top 8 first? Because they need to go back. And I was like, thank you. Thank you. So I got my race showcase just in time for Top Gun.
That's awesome.
Otherwise I wouldn't have gotten it. So big thanks to Michael Silk for letting me get my
For
showcase
fixing
in
it.
time.
Yeah, that's great. And then we saw you in top 8 on the stream with your freshly sleeved deck. And that's where that 4th matchup into Sabine.
Yeah, I can't beat them all.
What happened here?
Game 1 I won. Game 2 we had an absolute monster draw. It was the slammer. Because, like, basically he had the perfect thing where he has initiative. Because if I have initiative, I can beat this draw. But he had initiative. He has to play a ship. So because he has initiative, I can't then blue leader kill his ship immediately. So I have to play out my cards. I play out a 3PO, then he pilots the ship with a Chewie. And I've got in hand double blue leader, so I can beat that. Because I can blue leader and clear it. And like I'm down on tempo on the ground, but at least I've cleared the problem, you know? So I had the double blue leader to clear it. But he flips Sabine and puts a Darksaber on. I'm like, oh man, you had ship, Chewie, and Darksaber? That's crazy. So I'm battling against the Darksaber, then ECL pose, and I'm like, oh, whatever, you had everything, man.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Like, that 4 cards in sequence are just unbeatable for my deck. Unless if I have Entrench. But even then, he can ECL Poe and clear the Entrench, so only like Entrench plus triggers. Like, I need combinations, basically, to beat it. I can't beat it with normal draw. So game 2 was an absolute horror show. But it showcased the strength of Sabine. It doesn't matter how much you prepare for Sabine. Ultimately, she just has draws that kill you.
Yeah, it's just too good.
And that's why Sabine's a good leader.
Even without ECL and with 10 more cards, who knew?
I think he should have been playing 12 more cards, but
yeah. Still, an amazing run once again. And yeah, any final thoughts on the deck? Where is it? Where are you taking it now? Or what can we expect from your?
I think I'm cutting walkers from the board. I'm looking to move Mothma to board ×2 and put the Season Fleet Admiral in the main to get a little bit more extra anti-aggro. But
okay,
I didn't lose any game 1s to aggro, so maybe I don't need to respect aggro in the game 1 more, and maybe my board, the 2 walkers, should be the 2 Season Fleet Admiral or something. I don't know. Or the double cargo juggernaut that I wanted, something like that. Just something to help patch up aggro a little bit more to try. Because if you can get past the nut draws, then yeah.
Let's ask our viewers. Leave us a comment and tell Yehosera what he should side in those 2 slots instead of Reinforce and Walker. Let's see if anyone can come up with.
If you're playing against Rey Data Vault though, as another deck, I'm sorry, man. You're just gonna have to hope your opponent like keels over and has a heart attack or something. This deck's busted.
So you told me that someone saw your list day 1 in the States, and they just copied it and went to a PQ or a tournament on Sunday and won it.
114 a player event and just won immediately.
Seriously,
it was. Oh man, I'm gonna butcher this name. Pasquale.
If you're watching this,
Cruciata. I'm sorry, I'm just.
Oh, is it Pasquale?
Yeah.
Pasquale. Okay.
I'm glad you saved me.
If you're watching this, leave us a comment. Let us know how that tournament went. Obviously, it went really well. But
I mean,
so cool.
We won it with 61 cards. Maybe I should be 61, not 60.
What was the cut? What was the 61?
I don't know. He didn't have my full deck list. He just copied what he thought was in there. But it shows that the concept of the deck is very strong.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. Any final thoughts? Are you gonna write a blog about this deck? Can we expect?
Oh yeah. You can expect a write-up.
Awesome. We're going to link it on the description or on the top comments. So definitely go check out Yehosera's blog. Lots of info, deep dives into the meta on his deck lists. Any shout-outs?
Oh, also, there's in the Anakin one
Mm,
write-up, there's a complete guide for how to beat villainy controllers heroism. So you should never lose that matchup after you read it. You know,
that's great.
just a little, you know, a little self shout out. You know, if you wanna beat
Absolutely.
villainy controllers heroism, there's a little
We'll link the
a
Anakin
couple
as well.
paragraphs that'll tide you over against it. I don't want to rewrite it in Ray, so I might just
Link
refer
it.
to Anakin.
Yeah.
For shoutouts, there's a BVS, obviously Black Vault Syndicate. I got told off for calling the name cringe last time, so sorry. Syndicate is my favorite descriptive word. My favorite word ever is syndicate now. Um, then there's obviously the London people that I play with, because I got to play Han 1 Blue into them a lot, and that was what convinced me that I wasn't good enough because I couldn't get a high enough win percent. Obviously, you and Frankie were big helps when it came to testing because you guys were happy to play with me, and I'm always on the hunt for more tabletop simulator games. You can fact check that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
am
yeah.
always hunting for more games. Never satisfied with the amount of tabletop simulator games. And then the people from up north that I stayed with, we got Michael Wood, George Worm, and Zav. Zav's big in the FF scene. George Worm, I swear he's stolen like 20 charges from me. Every time I go up north, I lose something. I swear he's taking it, but I can't prove it. One day I will. And when I prove it, it's going to be big.
We'll
Because
put a
everyone says,
tracker on it.
well, everyone says, nah, George wouldn't do that. And I'm like, he did, I swear. He has all my stuff. And Michael Wood made day 2 this time. Very good run from him on day 1. He got very unlucky in day 2 with the Quinlan.
Mm,
But Quinlan's one of those decks. If the deck draws well, it's going to feel like the best deck you've ever played. And when it draws bad, it's just, wow, what is this pile of crap?
mm,
But yeah, shout out to those guys.
awesome. Yeah, it was a pleasure testing together and playing together as always, and a pleasure to have you on the channel. Thanks again for joining us, and thank you for watching. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think about this deck. What are your questions about the deck? If you have any question for Yehosera. And until next time, this was M with Yehosera for Top 8 Lille Regional Rey Data Vault. Take care.
But you are going to censor the bad comments, so I don't have to read them, right? The only good comments about
Oh
this
yeah,
deck.
yeah. We're definitely just
Thank you,
leaving
thank you,
the
thank you.
great ones.
I had to double check.
Yeah. See you later.